Welcome, welcome, welcome. My sale is still on for those who are interested for a 15-minute reading. So it's still there, $33.33. So today I'm calling it therapy session. That's what I'm going to call it. It's going to be called therapy session. Why am I calling it therapy session? Well, I used to go out and um, with my Instagram in the morning and go for a walk and then just blabber off on things on my Instagram. And I just, with the way, emotions and feelings and everything, very emotional, especially with Mercury in Cancer and the Sun in Cancer. And that's emotional. There's emotions there. Plus, that's where, when it comes to my natal chart, that's where a lot of energy is too. So there is emotion that comes in and trying to figure your next step out. And what is the next step? What does that look like? What does that feel like? This is, again, an unstable world. We're in an unstable world trying to make stability in an unstable world. And there's frustrations. So looking around, the frustrations that are around. So I feel like the frustrations are there. What should I, what are the next things? It's where, and I'm trying to think of the book that I was reading, but it was about taking time. And when you end something or something ends, is allowing yourself to take the time to step into something that is new. So whether that's you're transitioning from one job to another job, or you just finished graduating and you're, instead of just jumping into work or whatever, it's like allowing for, say, the weekend, or even like the best thing is 2 weeks to a month, especially for women, to integrate the process of what just happened. And many times we don't get that. It's like automatic. Oh, I'm moving from this job and I got this job and then I got this job. And there's no integration of allowing ourselves to release whatever, just, what was happening at the other job, to embrace our steps for the next one, because we go into like a panic mode within our mind. Our mind goes into a place where, oh my God, I have to do this. I have to do this. I won't have this. I won't have that. And it can be very overwhelming. It can be very frustrating. It can cause a lot of other things that go on within you that you didn't even know, or you weren't paying attention to. And that, especially when you get that inner mean girl or the inner bitch coming up, it's like, oh, you're just so lazy. You can't do this. Oh, you should get out there. You got to do this. And it's really looking into your brain, looking into that part and coming in and saying, no, I need to breathe. I need to observe. I need to allow for different parts of me to integrate back. And what does that mean? Do I get angry? Yes. Allow for that. Where's that anger coming from? Because there is, with a lot of the frustrations and um, the feelings that we're having right now, with trying to what go integrate the old world into the new, you can't do that, because that's just going to cause even more frustrations. Or compare the old, well, we should have done this, oh, remember when we did it this way and we did it that way. And there's just a new process for doing things, a new idea of doing things in a different way. And that can bring in, where for yourself, can bring in depression, can bring in feeling, a lack of self-confidence, the whole book, right? So what I personally am feeling, I'm feeling all of this all at once, and it's especially integrating and stepping back into the process of my spiritual business. What does that mean to do my spiritual business? What does that look like? And, I've had people, oh, you're going to start teaching again. Are you going to start? I was just like, whoa, that's so overwhelming. Like, I just felt very overwhelmed by it all. And it's like, no, that's not. I'll start off with doing readings for people, do 15-minute readings, and then slowly integrate whatever else comes in. I've started a workshop, or taking a workshop on Kundalini. on integrating and understanding the fundamentals of Kundalini. Never done that before. Like, I took Kundalini classes with a girlfriend who had been doing Kundalini for years, and went to her place, and a bunch of us did Kundalini, did Kriyas, and all of that on a weekly basis, sometimes twice a week. And but not getting into the fundamentals. So getting into the fundamentals. So I've started, this is week 1, I'm finding out the fundamentals. Just little things about, properly sitting on your sit bone, um, how you are, allowing for your heart to come out, allowing your heart to be the lead, and why that's so important, and why we do different breath works and things like that. It's it it's things like, I knew, but hearing someone else explain it is really bringing in a deeper understanding of the fundamentals that need to be done, and coming into those fundamentals. And this morning, it took me from 6:30 this morning till I think 8:30, so 2 hours. And it wasn't all doing yoga and stuff like that. A lot of it was explanation, explaining things and listening, and as we're doing, as we went into different postures and stuff like that, and understanding what the posture's for and why we do it a certain way. So these things, I feel like, for many of us, is that we have to go into our fundamentals of what works, what doesn't work. Do we really understand why we're doing what we are doing? Is that I got sunglasses on top of my head, didn't even realize it. Is that something that we should start getting it back into within our own life, and understanding those fundamentals? So a lot of it is testing our will, our survival, and putting on our spiritual gloves, our spiritual boxing gloves, for us to get through it, to say, yeah, no, I can go through this. I can move through this. And when we are able to acknowledge that and look at that, it's like things defined by what will be weird. Like, we are going to see things looking weird on the way that we think things are to look and act, and the whole bit. So own self, that wants to quit, to go away, and we need our spiritual self to come in, our spiritual boxing gloves to come in. And sometimes that's difficult. Sometimes that's a hard one to look at, to do, to feel, to explain. It's, all of these emotions that are coming through and coming up with um, everything that we are supposed to be doing. Oh yes, I got coffee. Thank you, thank you. I need coffee. In one of my favorite mugs. Yes. So we need some of that explanation. We need some of that time to integrate. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm integrating. Many have asked me if I'm going back to a muggle job. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say right now. Right now, when I think about it, it really causes panic within inside of me, makes me feel sick within inside of me. And then I go to the other side where it's like, oh my God, you got all these bills to pay. You got a car payment, you got insurance to pay. And then that takes me into another, place where a lot of anxiety arises, and not realizing that a lot more anxiety is coming up within me than I ever realized before, and how anxious and that I can get. And I didn't realize how much I have been containing, and being in that container, and what that container looks like. Um, and I think for many of us, we're going through different processes of something similar, of those containers, and looking at, and our containers, our own body, and what's the next step for me to do in order to understand that container, understand the steps that I need to be doing to rebuild who I am and the confidence within inside myself and that confidence of being a spiritual being, of being a beautiful, loving, caring, understanding goddess and coming into and connecting with that essence of myself and allowing for myself to integrate that within me and being open to opportunities that align. What are those opportunities that are going to align? I don't know. But there's something there and I just have to follow and trust in the process that is being unfolded before me on this earth walk. And know, not know, but have faith, that's it. Have faith that it'll all integrate in some harmonious, beautiful way. And as it integrates in some harmonious, beautiful way, that I am willing and open to partake in it. That's funny. Be willing to partake in it, right? So this is where, we're gonna find that, um, some of us are going to be, as I mentioned yesterday, reactive, easily triggered, um, and really watching how we are going to master that, being aware of how we're mastering that. And, with the aspects they're making this week and give added insight to the directions, listening to the information, allowing for us to spiritualize it and think we are, it's not to let our egos get in our way and over spiritualize it and thinking that we're better than others. That's God, no, I'm totally not. But to check in, to dive deep and get to the bottom of things. And that's where I feel I'm at right now, and it's like, "Ooh, what does that look like?" Right? What does that really look like? And then with this finger of God that's coming in, this, with Neptune and Pluto, which are the outer planets, it's our subconscious. This is putting a spotlight is on our will and our ego as a servant, not as a master, and power struggles can amplify, especially with Mars and Pluto. They can amplify things and spiritual ego can amplify under especially Mars and Neptune and things and illusions can come in. And then you're just like, oh shit. Right? So the best use of this energy is, surrendering and surrendering and surrendering and surrendering. And sometimes it just seems like a lot because there's so many layers that are coming unfrilled. It's not like a normal layer. It's like you know how strings off of a corn, you just pull these strings off or all these different strings are coming off. And I see like the husk as it comes in, it's not straight, but it's kind of curly. It's a very curly kind of unraveling. So it's not just a straightforward unraveling of energy. So because we have to allow for the divine love and the divine power, and they can be fierce and intense. And, as we surrender to these coming through us means we are allowing for the pure energy to come through without ego distortion. That's a hard one because we're constantly in our ego. We're constantly judging. We're judging ourselves. We're judging others. We're we're questioning the things that we've done. How come we did it this way? Why did we? It's like these are just fleeting moments. The thing is, that's what we got to understand. It's like they're not they're just thoughts that come in and then they're gone. They're not sustainable. They're not here. The only way that they become sustainable is like when we hang on to it and we like bring it in and make it our truth. Then it becomes sustainable. Then not sustainable, but it becomes sort of our crazy truth of our reality of the things around us and how we see things and how things are supposed to be and how people are supposed to act. And so we have this ideology of it all. So, but that's why in surrendering, meaning that we just, okay, I see it, I release it. I just, it's not mine. It's just a thought. It's just a something that's coming in. It's emotion, energy in motion. That's what emotions are. It's energy in motion. So the energy is moving through, allowing for that energy to move through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is, as we are working with our emotions in a conscious way, not suffering or denying, but also not reacting and exploding with them, to be with what arises, to be without chasing after or collapsing into it or running away from the path of mastery right now. This is like being the observer, being within the body and saying, okay, yeah, Cancer is the highest and purest form of emotion. It is the cardinal sign. It's the beginning of a season. This is where, when we're working with that shadow energy, it's it's this sev that emotional energy moves through without getting stuck. Sometimes when you're sifting something through, there's big chunks that can't go through. So sometimes they need a little work to get them through, right? If you're sifting flour, sugar, you're making something, or, kids making, sand. So this is like without, getting stuck within, constant joy or pain or anger or love or fear or bliss. We welcome it all, like bring that all in and say, yeah, this is all a part of me, right? This is where I'm not going to spiritually bypass something. And, where, especially with the Cancer season, things can manifest as emotionally subjective and getting stuck in the certain emotions. And having, knowing a lot of Cancers, they can get emotionally subjective and get stuck. And I've seen it. And they're stuck on this one thing. It has to be this one way. It has to look this certain way. And I'm hanging on to this one thing because that one thing, out of 10, the other 9 are shit, but the one thing is fabulous. So I'm going to hang on to the one. It's like, no, don't hang on to any. Just let it go. That's going to give you better insight. It's going to allow for you to um, heal what needs to be held, right? So we don't cut that child off, but we, especially that inner child, we don't cut that inner child off, but we also do not collapse into the wounded child, and let him or her run the ship. It's a deep transformational work that we're in right now, and sometimes it can really feel overly fucked up. It can feel so it feels like so much. There's so much there. And but it's that integration of it all, and for me, it's, coming into some of the fundamentals with understanding the yoga and um coming in and bringing in that divine feminine energy and allowing it to integrate and knowing that right now, basically I'm a hot fucking mess. I really am, and what keeps me grounded is my spiritual practice. And it's not perfect. Some days are like, oh, I don't want to fucking do this. This is so fucking stupid. Other days are great and I step into it and it's fabulous and great, but that's just the ebb and flow of the energies too that are going through. And and also connecting with people and doing readings. I love it because that allows for me to step into those parts of me that I know ego steps aside, right? Ego steps aside. I know when ego steps in, and I usually let people know, oh, this is my ego speaking. But when I'm doing a reading and things are starting to come in and flow, I know it's spirit. I know it's the divine coming in and the light coming in, and that guidance, and it's beautiful, right? Can't stay there all the time because that's not reality, but it's beautiful when I am in there. And that's why sometimes the 15 minutes readings go to 30, because spirit is talking. Spirit has a message that needs to come through and it needs to flow through. So today it's things feel unstable, feel a little bit odd, and with all the different types of energies that are coming through, it's allowing them to flow through. So finding things that are going to help you to move them through. Put some music on. you know? Move with the music, do something you don't normally do, do something not in the normal way, right? So for me, going back to the basics of things, I've never done that before, so it's like, "Whoa, this is cool." Learning more about the different sutras and stuff with the yoga, it's like, "Whoa, this is a huge learning process for me." It's just like stepping into astrology. There's so much there. It was so frustrating learning the houses. Oh my God. Understanding sometimes they still like, and understanding the different houses and stuff like that, still frustrate me. It's just like, no, what I just don't get it. Like, what don't I get about this house? Like, what's so crazy about Aquarius that I don't really understand all the time? And it's like, okay, I gotta come in. I gotta understand the ruling planet. What's the ruling planet of Aquarius? Oh, okay, it's Uranus. Uranus is, he's out there, he's all over the place. And for me, it's like, okay, being able to change on a dime, it's like, oh, okay, without control. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. I think it's a lot for everybody. But, coming into that and saying, okay, I need to understand this a little bit more. I need to understand the 10th house, the Capricorn. What is the Capricorn? Oh, it's ruled by Saturn. Okay, what is Saturn? Saturn is structure and time. He's the time lord, right? So, when I say, Pluto doesn't kill you, but Saturn will, because he's the time lord. He's the beginning and the ending, right? It's the time lord and coming in as the time lord, right? So it's some things are going to frustrate you, and it's coming in and maybe taking the notes and sort of going through bit by bit, because doing things in a new way are going to be very helpful with how the new world, thank you, um, is unfolding for us all, right? And right now, in things that are unstable, um, and you're trying to make sure that this is the way that we always did it. It's like even foundational work. So construction, if anybody does construction, there's a basics of construction, right? On how to do things. But there's new ways of doing construction. There's new ways of building a building. They found, maybe new metals that work better, new foundational work that works better than old ways. Like if you're not going to build a building the way that you did a 13th century castle. Well, yes, the 13th century castle's still there, but the foundational work and getting those bricks in there and the laying the bricks. There's a new and easier way of doing it, of bringing things and building things. And that's where we're at. We're learning the new ways of building our own selves. And huh, if like you're stubborn like me, it's like, fuck, I really have to look at my anxiety. Man, never thought I had anxiety, but I do, right? I'm recognizing that. What's my next step in dealing with it? Well, I got to look into that and what that means. And sometimes it's like, whoa, I'm on the verge of just like, whoa, crying. And why am I on the verge of crying? What's going on here? Um, I'm not, I like to have that, that's where that control comes in, right? I want to have that control, and I would just want to shove it under the carpet, right? And leave it there, because then it's easier. It's like over there. But no, it's coming out. You can't shove things under the carpet. And same if you're the one who just flips off on a dime, you can't be the person who flips off on a dime. It's not going to serve you right. It's going to backflash in some way. So, in that instability. So, testing our will and how we're going to survive. Well, we need this, especially not only the coming days or months, in the coming years. This is some of the foundational blocks that we are building right now that we are definitely going to be needing in the coming years. And if we're not dealing with it now, and when things get a little bit more out of hand, we'll be like, oh, what? I should have dealt with this. And I didn't. So there we go. And it doesn't matter what age you are. We all have shit that we have to deal with and work with. And sometimes the older we get, if we haven't worked with the more unlayering there is. So best do it now before you get older, right? Because then you're just shoving it down and making more of a crazy compact there with inside yourself. And that's, going to plug things up. So, my loves, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go sit and drink my coffee and going to do some journaling and notes and stuff like that today. Definitely. I'm available to do 15-minute readings. You can get a hold of me. They're $33.33. Like and subscribe on my YouTube. Push the notification button. And same on my Facebook and Instagram. So you get notified when I'm on, right? So pull a card. Cynthia, you're very needy, aren't you? No, she's a Cancer. That's why. Cancers are needy too. You're just a little brat. That's what you are, Cynthia. My little brat. No, I'm just deciding what deck to use. There is a deck over here that my son bought me a couple of years ago. Oh. Ugh. Dropping the goddesses on the floor is not a good thing. It's called the Mother Wisdom deck. And it is a beautiful deck. I don't know if you've ever seen this deck. I'll take a good look at it. So I can open it. Tells you I don't use this deck very often, but it's sitting there staring at me. So the Mother, see what it has to say. It's a very nurturing, very beautiful deck, that's for sure. So they are pretty. I'm going to pull this out, and then I'm going to pull some, let's have some fun. We'll pull it out, and we'll pull, you can tell I don't use it that much because they're still stiff. So how many of you guys are going to Stampede if you're from the Calgary area? Going to pancake breakfasts and stuff like that. Should be lots of fun for people. Oh, okay. All right. There we go. So what do we have here? Easter. Ostra. Celebration. Isn't she pretty? Now I am going to bring out the book. Hit the neighborhood breakfast. Yeah, that'll be fun. I know. So this Mother deck, since I don't use it very often. Oh, there's different. Okay, they come in different. There's the Nature Mother, Animal Mother, Ancestral Mother, and Divine Mother. So that's very cool. And she comes under Divine Mother, celebration. So she comes under the Divine Mother's energy. And being that Divine Mother energy, let's find out. Finding out together, everybody. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's wisdom and say, sit here, eat, feast on your life. Ooh, doesn't that relate to the energies that are right now? Ostra appears in your life, rejoices. The Germanic goddess of fertility and spring, Ostra celebrates having made it through another winter to welcome and return the light. So bringing that light into your life and allowing for the light to shine. So she's dressed in white, ushers in new energy. So the white is new energy and calls for putting aside the day to day. So when was the last time you truly celebrated your deep connection to friends and family, the countless blessings of each day? your own joy de vivre, joy de vivre. If it's been too long, rediscover. So rediscover your joy. Keep a small journal where you can record all your earthly delights, what your children do and say, and your emphasis on as a mother, the evolution of your spiritual life. Yeah, write down the joys. Write down the joys, right? Mama just got here. I'll re-listen after work. Love your prayers. So this is like a time of really looking back on what you need to celebrate. Oh, Lakshmi. Like, I'm sorry, my Hindi goddess is coming in. Lakshmi Savatsana was in yesterday. Lakshmi works with Ganesh, and she's a goddess of abundance and wants to bring in that abundance. So within the celebration that you're celebrating with Ostra, that renewal, that newness, that celebration, we're coming in with the abundance. That abundance will come. Thank you. Oh, man. And with that abundance coming in, it's allowing for you to be open to the abundance. What is that abundance? Remember, money is only one slice of the pie. And that's something I've really had to learn about, and I'm still learning about that, because it's about the joy. It's about um, celebration with my family, and my children are a huge one, my grandchild. So having that celebration. So the treasure that I invite you to receive is in your pocket right now, the pocket of your heart. Wow. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that beautiful? So the card of generosity, karma, and the gifts. So Lakshmi indicates the angels of fortune hover around you, waiting to bestow their bounds. So this is really looking at. So if you look at when we're reading, here's a thing on reading. So we look at the first card. The first card is telling us to get out and celebrate. Rejoice, engage with your family and your friends, and allow yourself to celebrate, because within that, you're going to find your bounty. You're going to find that beautiful energy, that essence that is you. And that tendency, this is where, because it's the four aims of human life: righteousness, pleasure, wealth, and liberation. And the goddess of abundance says that when you follow your dharma, your purpose in life and commitment, the rest will follow. Following your dharma, following that can be is a challenge. It's not like, oh, follow your dharma and like, oh, everything works out. Following your dharma is really coming into that spiritual self. It's embodying it in what you do, in what you say, and what you be. And it can be a very challenge because not everybody's going to understand that. Not everybody's going to see it. Not everybody's going to like it. Right. That's one of the part of the earth walk that we do, in doing that. And with that, oh, Kali Ma comes in. Look at her. I want you guys to take a good look at her. Look at her. Kali Ma. It could be ugly. It can be ugly. It can be ugly. Kali Ma. So Kelly's coming in. God bless it. I've tried to avoid her like a fucking plague. But hey, here she is. So Kelly's coming in. And when Kelly comes in, this is change. This is change. This is releasement. For me, when Kali Ma comes in, it's a fierce love. It's transformational. Yeah, we can sing and we can dance and we can come into that beautifulness and allow for that lovely abundance comes in. And then comes this fierceness, people deeply having no fear of death, no fear that things are going to break away, no fear that you're going to lose shit. That's the thing. That's huge, especially in such a materialistic world. We're afraid that, oh my God, I'm going to lose my home. I'm going to lose my car. I'm going to lose this. I'm going to lose that. And it's just like, oh my God, what do I do now? And at first, glance, Kali Ma often inspires fear rather than, this energy of emulation. If this rings true, take a second look. I mean, the thing is that, her dress is to kill in a necklace of skulls and a skirt of severed arms, her sickle in her bent on destruction. Notice that this Hindi goddess, this mother goddess, also holds a bowl of food and a lotus of compassion. It's like we can see all these severed arms and everything on her, and the skulls and her tongue hanging out. But we don't see that other things that she does have. And this is devouring and life giving. So Kali Ma summons the fierce love that frightens and transforms. That's part of this energy coming in. That's part of Venus going retrograde, and especially going retrograde on the feast day of Mary Magdalene. Like, this is fierce love. This is a woman who came in, if with Mary Magdalene, loved somebody that you weren't supposed to love. He's an idiot. Don't love him. He's a carpenter's son who's gone wackadoodle, you know? And so this is coming into that fierceness, right? It is these tumultuous depths we may find insight and freedom, and maybe even release into something beyond ourselves. Ooh, I'm thinking, as soon as I'm looking at this picture, I'm going to leave it out. I have a journal, a sketching journal, and I think I want to sketch her out. I just feel that to draw her out. So it's our darkness, like Kali Ma's complexion, a symbol of her all embracing nature. I mean, if you think of nature, if you think of the soil, the darkness of the soil, the more richer the soil, the more plentiful. It's like the large the Hawaiian island, Hawaiian planet, could be Hawaiian planet, but the Hawaiian island that with I can't remember the volcano. Anyways, the large volcano, but it grows every year an acre. Like, that's huge every year. So this is growing, right? This is growing. So things are growing in vastness, right? So more tropical paradise is being grown every year within her, right? And that's Pele. And Pele is giving that, and she's another fierce goddess as well, right? Coming in with that fierceness. And, both the womb and the tomb, Kali May reminds us of the universal law that creation is born of destruction of life. It's not possible without death. The fear of death of our beloved, feels almost unbearable at times. But armed with Kali's a boundless maternal love, now is the time to face the truth of impermanence. So seize the opportunity to live your life deeply. So it's like you're thinking something's going to last. This is going to last, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, but there's something that's deeper. Like it doesn't last. It's like even within a marriage, one person dies within that marriage. If you have a long marriage, it's inevitable that one will die, and then the other one will die. And so there's an ending to it. And as much as that, it is unbearable, you don't want to think about that, but this is to seize the opportunity to live, seize those moments of juiciness and scrumptiousness of the celebration. Seizing those celebrations, seizing that joy that is around you, and all that is delectable, and that's going to bring in those abundance. It's going to allow for to living this fruitful, joyous, crazy life that we're in, and that is coming into such transformation in a huge way. And how we are having to face so much of it, especially with so many planets coming in retrograde and Mercury slowing down. Yes, Mercury will be going retrograde again, but it's starting to slow down. It's this energy of fierce transformation that's coming in for us. And I think that's what scares us so much, because it is the light. It is this beauty that's coming forth. And this beauty and transformation that's coming forth for us all is a lot. One day I'll tell you about my drug experience. And what happened with that. One day I'll tell you about. It's just crazy. But it is illuminating. It's the illumination. And it's within that illumination that there is sometimes great pain in the illumination. because it's like, oh, everything's bright and beautiful and wonderful, but there is a sense of pain, and that's the shadow sides that need to be released within it. And Callie comes in to have us to release that. So love will clear the path inward and upward. So love will clear it, but it's standing in that love, it's standing in that fierceness that can be, allowing yourself to move where you never moved before, allowing yourself to push against something that you've never pushed against.
Unknown caller.
Whoops, sorry about that. Unknown caller, I don't know who it was, so I just declined it. So yeah, so allowing for that craziness to come forth. And as we do that, our overall, ooh, the pearl of authenticity. Beautiful. I gotta use these cards more often, man. No wonder they're talking to me. The pearl of authenticity. So these must be all wisdom goddesses that are coming in. I think she's a wisdom goddess. No. Where is the pearl? The pearl of authenticity. What is she? Is she a nature goddess? What kind of goddess is she? She's a nature goddess, isn't she? Where is she? Yes, she is. She's a nature goddess, the pearl. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Oh, my thought was right. God picks up the reed flute world and blows. Each note is a need coming through one of us, a passion, a longing pain. Remember the lips where the wind breath originated, and let your note be clear. Don't try to end it. Be your note. I'll show you how it's enough. Rumi. So allow yourself just to be the note. Don't try and shorten the note. Don't try and shorten what it is. Allow yourself to flow through it, because so many times when we're in that pain or in those transitions, we just want to cut it off. We don't want to feel it. We don't want to do it. We just want to just go on to the next thing. Just move on ahead. Move on ahead. But to move on ahead is like, this is not allowing us to come into and capture that luminous energy, and this is the luminous energy of this pearl. It's the moon energy. Her underwater origins tap the raw power of the sea. No wonder the pearl appears around the world in fairy tales and myths, attended by royalty and guarded by dragons. Drawing this card means it's your truth to embark on your heroine's journey in search of a fabled pearl beyond price. You will encounter adventures and misfortunes on this path of inner realization, but if you remember your true mission, you and yours will enjoy immeasurable wealth. Oh, Lakshmi comes back in. Immeasurable wealth. Be rich in the knowledge that your authenticity and authentic being is that beloved pearl. Pearl tells us to get real. Wow. So your greatest value emerges from an unashamedly being yourself. Pearls shows you how that is enough. Beautiful. Didn't read it all to you, but this is because there's a lot to read. Be your genuine true self with it all, and it's going to lead you to where you need to go. So there you go. There's the cards for you. Pretty crazy cards, pretty in depth, pretty in line with the beauty of the energies that are going on right now. But it is that enlightened journey that we're partaking in, and it's not easy. It isn't. And I feel for myself coming, it's because for me personally, I feel my journey's very crazy and erratic and all over the place because it's not consistent. And that's why, for me to understand that prosperity and abundance is there's a lot of pieces of the pie to it, and this is to surrender it all, and go up into the, where Pluto is and understanding the foundations that need to be built. And in building those foundations can be joyous, can be great, can be fucking hard because it's hard work to rebuild a foundation. So, my loves, there you go. I think I spent more than enough time with you. Um, you know, the card reading was beautiful. You're very welcome. So, yeah, if you're wanting that deck, it's the Mother Nature's deck, the Mother Wisdom deck. So, there you go. Blessed be everybody. Have a fabulous day and be true to who you are. That's all we can do. Blessed be everybody. And let us end with some duckies. Blessings, everyone.